Alright, so I spent 20 hours learning to draw. So tune in to see how I went from, well, this to this. So my name is Prashil, and I spent 20 hours learning to draw. And this is what happened. But before we get straight into it, I feel like I owe you, the viewer, a bit of an introduction, as this is my first ever YouTube video. And so yeah, as you probably already heard, my name is Prashil. I'm a college student, which means I am almost always broke and pretty much always depressed. And I'm not just talking broke in terms of cash, I'm morally bankrupt too. But we'll get into that more into this video. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to know about me. Yeah, the YouTube channel's name is Siren AT, and yeah, I thought Siren was a cool name. AT just stands for, you know, anything art and tech related. So yeah, that's pretty much the formalities and the intro done. Let's get into the video. Alright, so I used to draw a lot back in the day when I was a kid, and you know, I'm sure a lot of you did too, because you know, back in those days there wasn't really much to do to pass the time. And so, you know, nowadays you got, you know, every kid in the next one has an iPad or something, but in those days you could easily, you know, just draw to pass the time. And so what I thought was, you know, maybe I still had it. Maybe I still had some of that skill. And so let's just see how hard it can be to just draw something off the top of my head. All right, let's just start with a guy. All right, so that's one guy. All right, let's draw another one. Let's draw a girl this time. Okay. All right, let's try a house. Yeah, this isn't exactly gonna work.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
So sadly at this point, guys, I realized that I had actually overestimated my abilities, and what had once looked like, well, this as a kid, in reality actually looked like this. So yeah, there was some work to do. Alright guys, so after an hour of just drawing around and seeing where I'm actually at in terms of my skill level, I went ahead and just drew up some, you know, basic character frames just to see how I did. And as you can see, it's a potato. Yeah, so clearly I'm still not able to, you know, my proportions are off and I can't even follow a simple line of symmetry. So that's where I'm at in terms of, you know, starting this whole thing. And so yeah, this is really the point where I'm gonna have to move forward and get on to the next set. Alright, after a bit of research into character frames and proportions and as well as symmetry, I realized that you know, instead of even thinking about or dreaming about adding the finishing touches to characters and all that kind of stuff, I'd have to take it a step back and go straight back to the basics, which is practicing the fundamentals of drawing characters. This meant that I would need to go back and continuously practice the drawing fundamentals of just constructing a character frame first to get my proportions and my symmetry correct before I could actually progress onto bigger and better things. So yeah, in a way, baby steps first, because, you know, my self-esteem is already low enough as it can get. I really don't need another one of these abominations to show for it. So yeah, we'll get onto this and then see how it goes. So in my first hour, I didn't show you, much of me practicing this because, well, honestly, it was just boring footage to begin with. Me just learning how to proportionalize my character and get better at symmetry. So now that I've kind of mastered this, just this basic character frame, we can cue the montage of me using this character frame and just drawing up a bunch of different character poses, and we'll see how we go. I also learned the importance of perspective and just being able to visualize in your own head, the different poses that a character is in and how to kind of portray that onto a piece of paper. So with a better understanding of the three fundamentals, which I guess were the most important to me at least, that being, perspective, proportions, and symmetry, I got to work actually just practicing that. And so, yeah, it's going to be crazy to believe, but I spent over 10 hours just practicing, coming up with different character poses using the basic character frame and just, yeah, getting my proportions, symmetry, and perspective. I guess just getting a better grasp on it and just practicing it over and over again. And yeah, it sounds crazy, but honestly, I think that's pretty much what worked best for me, was just to make sure I really hadn't hit the nail on the mark with getting this down before moving on to, the other parts, because like I said, I just genuinely could not deal with another potato drawing. Alright, so after practicing for an extensive amount of time, I can safely say that I've seen a vast improvement in my overall ability to actually draw, and more specifically just to be able to, I guess, see any, just see an image, see a character in an image, in a pose, kind of break down that character into the, the key aspects of it, get the frame done, get the proportioning, get the, the symmetry and all that kind of stuff done, and then just apply, I guess you could say, the outer layers, like the body, the muscles, things like that. And so I'm very happy with my progress, because I've definitely seen just a good improvement just by practicing those character poses. It really does work. You have to put in the work, and yeah, and it actually turns out pretty good. I still need to work on the, the hands and the face, but yeah, we'll get onto that. So at this point, I decided to switch to using a pen to continue practicing my character frames and trying out different poses. And the reason for this is just so that when I make a mistake, I can actually, not erase it, I can work around it. And this allowed me to be a little bit more accepting of my mistakes. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, just, it's okay to make mistakes. You'll make mistakes along the way. This is kind of inevitable. I made a ton of mistakes. But I think what it is just your mindset around that. You'll be able to always kind of draw around it, as I said, you'll be able to fix it, but you'll be able to understand, okay, look, I made this mistake, this is what I'm going to do to fix it. And because, at the end of the day, it's just about having fun. That's what it is. So if you keep, having that mindset of, oh, every piece that I draw has to be perfect, every character that I draw has to be perfect, I think it'll make this whole process of learning a whole lot more difficult, because that's what my mindset was in the beginning. And now I'm just, okay with making mistakes. I'm fine with it as long as I learn from it. It's cool. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the main points that I've learned from, in this kind of, from just practicing non-stop. I think that's one of the main things I've learned, which has helped me kind of, get better. So this brings us almost to the end of this video. I know this video's been kind of long, but bear with me. I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing, and kind of condensing down 20 hours of footage is kind of really hard. So I've tried to put in like the most important things that I thought
were very important and true to this video. And yeah, so this final kind of segment is just about me kind of putting my skills to the test and just trying to, I chose a pretty kind of, stationary pose because I was, with this character, I wanted to focus more on, like, as you'll see, like the armor, the facial features, and like not so much the hands and stuff, but I still have to kind of work on that as well. But I wanted to work on, the kind of finer details, because right now I've been working on just kind of generalized aspects of drawing. So with this character, I kind of wanted to delve deeper into the finer details, and yeah, just see if you can tell who it is. And if you can, then maybe I did a decent job. Alright, ladies and gents, that pretty much brings us to the conclusion of this video. Finally, am I right? Yeah, like I said, I know this video is kind of, it's been a lengthy ride, but trust me, trying to condense 20 hours of footage is it just wasn't possible. And I felt like if I didn't put in the things that I did, it wouldn't make this video as good. So I put in everything that I thought would be, valuable to you, the viewer. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I would leave you with, is just, the advice, just don't give up, keep trying. It's gonna suck at times, but I guess if you just keep your head down and keep trying, you'll get there. I obviously have a lot left to learn. The face isn't perfect on this final drawing, so I want to continue doing, faces, hands, I guess even feet as well in different poses. So that's pretty much all I have to offer you in this video. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me. Yeah, I'll leave a link to the channels that I followed to get my information and research. Alfonso Jazza, I'll leave the links below. Thank you so much for watching. I guess we'll see what I do in the next video. Peace.